Hello and welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. My name is Zach Kazan. I am the editorial director at Worn and Wound. Welcome to yet another episode of the podcast. I'm joined by Kat Shoulders. Kat, welcome to the pod. Great to see you.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
We're going to be doing an episode that a topic that we return to from time to time on an as-needed basis. It's our collection update episode. We return to this episode when we've bought something or multiple things and feel like talking about why
it's been a while, though.
It's been a while since we've done the episode, or it's been a while since you've bought something, or both?
No, it's been a while. No, it hasn't been a while since I bought something. It's been a while since we've done one of these episodes.
Yeah. I feel like we did one in the fall, but
maybe it wasn't on it.
I don't know. There's a lot of, we do a lot of podcasts, so it's possible, time is a flat circle or whatever they say. So yeah, we're going to be talking about some watches that we've picked up relatively recently, that are of interest. Before we do that, let's do a quick wrist check. I'm not wearing the watches that I'm discussing today.
I am wearing one.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a good kind of like segue. So I'll go first then with my wrist check. I'm wearing the Christopher Ward Loco Brooklynite limited edition that we did last year, which is I guess a relatively recent pickup, but not as recent as the watches I'm going to talk about. But I wear this watch all the time. It's great.
I love that watch. I own one as well, and I was just visiting the new showroom in Soho a couple weeks ago, which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And they were so nice to give me a rubber strap with mine. And now I just don't want to take it off the rubber strap. It's so comfortable.
Yeah. So they sent me the rubber strap for mine a few months ago, like right before Christmas time, I think. And I put it on and it stayed on for a long time. I have it on the bracelet now, but it's really comfortable. And I think looks great on the rubber strap.
I think so too. Yeah. It looks really awesome. Yeah. With that case. And I think that's going to be a go-to kind of summer look for me is keeping it on the rubber. But
I think so too,
one thing I love about this watch, it's not very often that we do a limited edition that I think so many of us buy.
I was just going to say
this. I know you have one, and Liam and Zach and myself and Blake. I think that I don't know if anyone else has purchased one, but it's kind of like
that's a lot for one of our LEs. Like it's like it feels like a team.
I don't know
watch,
how many were made. I can't remember. 100 maybe. So
I think it was less than that. I thought it was like 50 or something. I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe
less. We'll double check that and put it in the show notes. But yeah, this is it's a great watch. I feel proud, not to sound sappy, but I feel like this is like a really cool kind of like team accomplishment. Obviously just the design work, and he's great at that. But it's I don't know, we've had a long relationship with Christopher Ward. It's a meaningful limited edition. I think it's also just a very cool watch. I just always get a kick out of wearing it, and it's something that people notice. People notice they notice that something a little weird and different about it, and so it starts a conversation and the way that you want to start a conversation about
totally.
watches, your career, and what you do. So it's a fun thing.
Yeah, it's a good opener. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Kat, what are you wearing? And we can kick off the collection update with your wrist check, I guess.
Yeah. I'm really excited. So I'm wearing today my one of one Fears Jump Hour that I think I got this back in October of last year, but I haven't really posted about it. I haven't really spoken about it much. It's a watch that's is really close to my heart, and kind of the whole reason I designed this watch was to sort of mimic and pay tribute to my dad's 55 Plymouth that I inherited when he passed away a few years ago. The car is currently still in my garage. I haven't had the nerve to sell it just yet, but I won't keep it. And I know I won't, because it is a bus. It's a really, really big car and very difficult to drive for those that know the reference. It's they call it a 3 on the tree stick, and it's just not fun for me. But this was a project car that my dad bought when I was about 7 years old. And all of us kids, have memories of working on this car and waxing it over the summer on long summer afternoons. And, I know that I was going to have to make the decision to sell the car at some point, and none of the other kids really, our siblings, wanted to keep it. So I thought about how can I pay tribute to this car and sort of keep it as a memory. And when I first saw the Jump Hour, I immediately thought that it kind of resembled a dial in a car, a speedometer or something like that. It just kind of had that look, and it looks very, maybe mid-century is not the right word, but kind of retro looking. Mm-hmm. And so, I approached Nicholas, and he obviously was immediately down to do another custom watch with Fears, and I worked with them for over a year in sort of designing this watch and getting all the details right. And if you've not had the experience of making a custom watch with Fears, it is a top tier experience. They are really on top of things. They communicate a lot. They send so many options. I think I still have the pamphlet of all of the different variants that we discussed and the drawings of them, which is really cool. And maybe I'll take a picture and we can share it in the show notes to this episode. But yeah, it was a really special experience, and I think they did a fantastic job. So just to describe it for people that again can't see it, and we'll post a picture of it somewhere. But it's got a sort of a, it's not really Tiffany blue, but it's very close to Tiffany blue, a very baby blue outer color, which is the color of the exterior of the car. And then the inner dial is a cream, which is also, so the car is like a two-tone car, and that's like the other color. And then the minute ring is stainless steel, like a brushed stainless steel. And then the hour window is black. And it all mimics, and I haven't taken pictures side by side with the car yet, but it literally looks like we just plopped this out of that vehicle. And they got the color almost perfect. Actually, nearly perfect. I can't really tell a difference when I hold the watch up to the car. And then I'll show you quickly. I also came on the bracelet, but I also worked with them on a custom kind of rally strap too that
That's very cool.
is really nice with it. Yeah. And this is the color of the leather actually matches the interior panels of the door in the car. So this is just like, it's like having a piece of the car on my wrist, and on the back there is a die, I guess.
That's great.
Which is my dad. The locks on the car are die. So yeah, it's a really special watch. It's very dear to my heart, and it's perfect. They really nailed it, and I couldn't be happier with the watch. And yeah, it's something that's so close to me. I guess I haven't really like publicly talked about yet, but I'm happy to share because I know we've talked about it over the last year or so. But it's perfect and wonderful and colorful, and again, it's like the Christopher Ward. It's a watch that people are like asking me like, what's on my wrist or what is that, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful watch. I've seen you've shared some photos of the watch, and I've seen photos of the car as well, and it really is a great match in terms of color, and it's just such a nice tribute to your dad and to a meaningful car, in your family. I think it's such a cool idea, and that's great that Fears was able to work with you on like creating something really special. I also at one point was exploring a one of one piece with Fears, and like I got sent like the booklet of options, and it's like they really do a nice job, like kind of like
wonderful,
explaining like what they can do and presenting it in a and like actually like a pretty luxurious way. Like we talked about, our first luxury watch purchases on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. And like, it strikes me that like presenting you like the option to do like a one of one, a unique piece is that is a luxury, like in and of itself. And also like, they do it like a luxurious job of like presenting it, and like kind of like the sales pitch is very, they do a nice job.
Yeah.
But,
they do a great job.
but yeah, that's such a cool idea. Are you finding that you're wearing it a lot, or is it more of like a special occasion sort of?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sadly, I wasn't initially because I don't know. It's almost like a trophy in a way, and I didn't. But I have started wearing it and becoming more comfortable with putting scratches on it and things as I wear it in a normal way. Because I don't want it to be a safe queen or to be put away all the time. I want to wear it, and I want people to ask about it. I want to be able to tell the story on how I made the watch, and but yeah, initially it was a little hard for me to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's normal, and I think that's actually fine. Like, not every watch has to be a watch that you wear like day in and day out. I've kind of like come to believe that like some watches, I'm going to talk about one later, are like more like I think I like the way we put it as a trophy. Like, I think that's like a like that's I think a safe way to describe a watch like that. It doesn't mean that you're like that you're babying it necessarily, or that you're like intentionally not wearing it, but like if it's special and meaningful, like wearing it like at a special or meaningful time is appropriate. But also like, of course, these things are made to be worn. It's a steel watch. It can like take
Yeah,
scratches, and that's fine too.
just on that topic, I struggle sometimes with, like, how to best wear my watches and how to give everything enough wear, because I often find myself just reaching for the same thing every day, or if there's something already out that's running, just pick that back up instead of reaching in for something new that I have to set. I think it would be an interesting episode to talk to you and maybe others on the team on, um, what is your process for giving everything in your collection wear? Because yeah, I'll find like, oh my gosh, I haven't worn this watch in like 6 months, and that's like crazy to me that I have a watch I
Hmm.
don't wear. And yeah, I'd be interested in hearing techniques from other people too on and how do you keep track? Is there a system you have? I struggle with that a lot of
Yeah.
giving everything enough wear time.
I used to struggle with it, and not to step on a future podcast topic because I think that's a good idea. But like, I kind of like I sort of like released myself from the struggle, and I just sort of like
Mm,
mentally decided like not every watch needs to be like I
yeah,
don't need to find time necessarily
yeah,
for all these watches. Like it's okay if
not to
like I don't
force
wear
it.
these watches all
Yeah,
the time. Yeah, like you go through seasons with these things, and
sure.
sometimes, like all summer, like maybe I'll wear like the Argonaut like all summer long, and that'll just be like the watch I wear,
Yeah.
for like 2 months straight when the weather's hot, and it's like it's on a
Mhm.
white strap, it's colorful, it feels like a summer watch. I haven't worn that
Yeah.
much over the cold, dreary New Hampshire winter. Like it just doesn't like
Yeah.
make a lot of sense. I put it on the
That's a
other
good
day, and like
point. Yeah, it's a good
and it just
point.
like it didn't feel right. It was just like, it's like this. It's snowy and cold and miserable. I don't want to wear this like happy, bright watch right now. Give me something
Yeah.
dark and depressing for
Dreary.
for now. But yeah, I think that is an interesting topic. But like I said, I've kind of like just divorced
Yeah.
myself from the
I'll
idea
let
that
it
like
go.
everything
As
needs.
they
Yeah,
say in Frozen, let it
let
go.
things go. It's
Yeah.
totally fine. So you said it took a while to get the watch made. It was like a year long
Yeah,
process. You
I
said.
can't remember the exact timeline. I wanna say it was at least a year, maybe a year and a half.
Hmm.
But again, sort of I wanted to take our time because I really, really wanted to get it right, and, they allowed me time to really think on the options as we were moving along, and yeah, they again, I would rather it take longer knowing that it's exactly what I wanted,
Hmm.
down to
Yeah.
every single small detail on the watch.
Yeah. Um, the strap too. I wanted to ask. So, like, that
Mhm.
rally strap. Is that a type of strap that they offer in their shop? I don't
They
know that
don't,
I've seen them. Like, so they created like a new style of strap for
yeah,
this
it's
watch.
it's really cool. It's very comfortable, and a lot of their straps come from Belgium, and I don't know if this one doesn't say on the back if it does. I'll have to look back in my messages and I'll let you know where they sourced the strap. But yeah, this is something that they found just for me because I wanted that racing car, look to the watch and for it to match sort of the interior fabric of the car as well. So I'll have to look and see actually my messages where it came from, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Um, that's great. So, I guess I can move on to my first
Yeah.
first collection update. I bought a Ming Minimalist at the beginning of January. For some reason, I always wind up buying a watch early in January. I tell myself in December, I'm gonna take it easy this year. I'm gonna
I
slow
do
down.
remember.
I said it on the podcast and I put it on Instagram, and
It's
I was like,
okay.
this is the year that I slow things down and
Sure.
enjoy my watches, and you know and that'll be nice, and I'll take a little bit of a break. And then I think what happens is people like trade watches in like around the holidays, either because they're like
Mm,
raising money for like for gifts, or they're getting something new for themselves or whatever. And so like
yeah.
the pre-owned dealers that I kind of
They start reaching out.
troll, like they see new stuff pop up in their
Yeah.
inventory like in January when they're back from break. And that's what happened with the minimalist.
Mhm.
I went to the collective website, as I often do,
Mhm.
and looked at their pre-owned section, and there was a minimalist. And
Wow.
I had said to myself, previously, like really since I first encountered the minimalist, or not, I've wanted one since I got the uni, the diver. I thought
Yeah.
like the minimalist would be like a perfect like kind of like companion for this watch. I'd love to
Mhm.
have both of them, and because they're like the same sort of like case styles, case generation, and they're like the inverse of each other. One is like a sporty dive watch that's like black coated. The other is like a very slim steel, like dressier,
Yeah.
more minimal as the name implies, peace. So I thought like that would be like it would be a good pairing. But yeah, I saw one for sale, and I messaged them, and I was like, I want that, and then I had it like a couple of days later, which
Yeah.
is just sort of like how quickly these things.
Where do you mind if I ask where you bought it from or where you saw it?
I bought it from the Collective.
Oh, Collective, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they're an authorized retailer for a bunch of brands
Mhm.
that I enjoy. They'll come up again, as we continue this conversation.
Yeah.
But so they had one. It was very very easy to just send a text message and like
Yeah.
pull out the credit card and like and there you go. And then I had it, and um I I really love it. Like it's really great. I think that I'll probably wind up wearing it more than the uni. I think like on the whole, because it's like
Mhm.
it really is like it's sporty on the rubber strap, but it's also like it's so thin and easy to wear.
Mhm.
It just kind of like makes sense, I think, in like a lot of different contexts. I don't love the idea of like dressing up a sporty watch, but like this
Mhm.
watch doesn't need to be like dressed up. It just kind of like
Yeah.
exists and is like very clean, and I think like looks appropriate regardless of the situation. Um I first encountered this watch really the first time that I ever had I think it was the first time I ever met Ming himself in person at Geneva Watch Days, not last year, but the year before.
Mhm.
And he did the thing that he does where he's like showing you like the party trick of a watch. And
Mhm.
he charged the loom, and he didn't tell me what was special about it. He was like, look at the loom. And he has like that tool. I'm sure people have seen it where
Yeah.
it covers the watch, and it like creates like a blacked out environment so you can view
Yeah.
the loom like in like full daylight basically. And I'm looking
Yeah.
at it and I'm like, well, that's like the loom is nice, but like what's the big deal? And he's like, it's
Yeah.
white. It's white emitting loom. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I didn't fully grasp it, but like that's like
Mhm.
an incredibly rare thing. And like they claim that
Yeah.
they're the first to actually do it. And listen, I think it's cool. I'm not like the biggest like loom nut. It's kind of fun that like they're the only like they do seem to be the only ones that do it. But what is actually like pretty cool is that I'm under the impression that Ming actually like mixes the loom and like applies it himself on these dials, at
Okay.
least some of them. So like I think I love the idea that like the hand of the maker is like in this watch
Yeah.
that's like a pretty accessible
Yeah.
independent watch. So yeah, like the loom's cool. I do find myself like charging it with a powerful flashlight from time to time
Yeah.
just to kind of see it.
Now,
But yeah, it's fun.
here's my question. Is the white loom, in your opinion, as bright as like green or blue that we normally see in like
No,
superluminova? And it's not.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's like this
Because
is
that's
not.
been my kind of experience with other color loom that brands have used. It just they're not as bright of a color, to shine or whatever luminosity as like the other that we typically see.
Yeah, I mean, this watch doesn't have like the type of loom that people say like lasts all night. Like
Yeah.
it's relatively short acting, at least in my experience. It has been. I will say that like
Hmm.
I went and saw a movie a couple of weeks ago, and I was wearing the watch, and like I was able to like see the time like in a dark theater after like not
Yeah.
intentionally charging. I was just like outside, and like it picked up
Yeah.
enough charge for like the first half of the movie. I was able to kind of like see
That's
it, which I
pretty
thought was
cool.
like pretty impressive. But it's not super bright. It's very very white. So I think like that like
Hmm.
just in daylight, like it's a very crisp sort of like contrast against the black sapphire
Sure.
dial. So it's like it's easy to pick out in any lighting condition.
Yeah.
So that plays a role, but I wouldn't describe this as like it's not like like Pelago style loom that like is
Hmm.
super bright and lasts for like a really long time. It's more of just like it's a design thing, I think,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
sort of like a functional thing. And like maybe Ming would challenge that, but in my experience though, I find that
Yeah.
it's more about like the look of it than
Yeah.
like the pure function of it, which is like
Still pretty cool.
that's right up my alley. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm driven by aesthetics, for these things, and not like
Hmm.
I'm not diving. I'm not like I don't need to know the time in a movie
Hmm.
theater, when I'm halfway through
Yeah.
Hamnet
Totally.
or whatever I'm
Totally.
seeing. So it's like I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I love it, and it's like it's kind of solidified like Ming for me as like one of the like for me like they're like a key brand for me. Like they like I think that they're doing like maybe it's like some of the most interesting stuff like in the watch
Yeah. Heck
industry
yeah.
like right now.
So
Like
cool.
owning their watches is really a pleasure, and I'm just very excited to see how they continue to kind of
Yeah,
develop.
I always get super jealous when I get to see yours or Zach's Mings in person because I'm always just like, "Ugh, I need to own a Ming." It's a brand I've
Hmm.
never owned, and I'm just kind of waiting for like the right one. They came really close, maybe last year. I saw there was like a world timer that they released that was
Hmm.
pretty awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe one's just gonna strike my fancy at some point. But they are awesome. I really like what they're doing. I love that bracelet that they
The
engineered too
polymesh,
recently. Yeah, it's
yeah.
so cool. I mean, you've gone hands on with it. You've actually seen it in person, right?
Yes, the polymesh bracelet is insane, and like the other thing I was going to say about this watch is like when they make as far as I know, they're planning on doing a steel version of the polymesh
Yeah,
bracelet, and I will buy that for sure
yeah, yeah.
for the minimalist because it's just such a cool thing. Like there's just nothing else like it. It feels
No,
like it feels like fabric, but it's metal,
I know.
and
I can't wait to
it's
see one.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's just an amazing thing.
Every time I see it on pop up on Instagram, someone's doing a video of it, and I always stop to watch it because it just looks so cool.
Yeah, we can link to it. James Stacy over at Hodinkee posted his, I think, a new to him Breitling Aerospace and made a comment that like it would be perfect on
Yeah,
the
I saw that.
polymesh bracelet, and then Andy Hoffman posted it, like his on a polymesh
Yeah,
bracelet, and it set off like a little like firestorm in the comments, but
yeah.
like it looks great, and it's a
I think that's something that doesn't get explored often enough in the watch space is like buying a bracelet that's branded for another watch, but then putting it on other pieces, other brands.
yep.
I've recently I bought the Omega, mesh bracelet for one of the watches I'm going to talk about shortly, and I've been playing around with it on other watches of mine, and it like looks really
Hmm.
cool on some pieces. But I think people like avoid that when it's a really branded bracelet,
Hmm.
that specifically goes on a certain watch. But I say use it on all your watches. They're freaking expensive. You might as well get as much use of it as you
Yeah,
can.
for sure. I mean, listen, I think the polymesh is going to be a product that a lot of people will want and will want to try it on like
Yeah,
various watches, and I think Ming understands that, and I get the sense that they're like embracing that, and I heard them on a podcast, speaking about it, and like, they specifically said that they want to like you know make bracelets. They're having it's a difficult thing to produce. So they want to like make sure they take care of their
yeah,
Ming watch customers, but like they understand that like
sure.
there's a demand for the bracelet for people who just want to put it on other watches. But yeah, sign me
Yeah,
up for the steel one whenever it's ready. I'm a
yeah,
buyer.
for sure.
Kat, you alluded to another watch that you were going to talk about. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah,
What's next in your your
let's
collection
talk
upgrade?
about it. I don't even know when I bought this watch. I think it was maybe around Christmas or so. I purchased the green Omega Seamaster, the seaweed Seamaster, as they nicknamed it, which I don't really care for the name, but whatever. I've
Yeah, that's
always
not a great
just
nickname.
really
I don't like
liked.
that either.
I've always loved this particular reference of the Seamaster. I've owned Seamasters in the past, but I went hands on with it probably like 3-4 years ago when I was visiting San Francisco, and I was actually hanging out with Elodie, one of our writers, her dad Blaine, and he owned this watch, and then I believe has gifted it to his wife, and he sends me pictures all the time of their family and his wife doing all these like really cool adventure stuff in this watch, and I think like the Seamaster inherently is kind of a masculine dive watch, I think, in a lot of
Hmm.
ways, and the green, I feel like it not that it's feminine, but I think it works on a more feminine wrist, especially with the mesh bracelet that I bought, the stainless mesh that Omega does now for the Seamaster line, which is far better than the original Seamaster bracelet, which it came on, and I literally haven't even unwrapped it. I don't like it. I will probably try to like sell it, but I picked up this watch
You might
just
sell the
because I've
bracelet separately. That's a like
the original, yeah, the original Seamaster bracelet, the OG,
yeah. I don't
just
like
because
it
I
either.
I won't.
But it's like, I mean, that's quite an indictment to say that like you just want to like get rid of it like
I
without
mean, I just don't think I'll
the
ever
one.
wear it. I think like I'd rather, make a few bucks or trade it in for a cool bag or something if I
Yeah.
can, if someone is out there that is looking for one. But it's just not like I've owned that bracelet in the past with Seamasters, and I honestly hate it. So yeah, I immediately went, as soon as I picked up the watch, I immediately went to the boutique to get mesh bracelet, and it's far nicer. And I've actually I bought a rubber strap for it as well, a green
Mm-hmm.
rubber that the strap tailor makes. Now he makes rubber straps, and it's fitted specifically to the Seamaster line, and it's as good as I will say, like, the original Omega rubber, and it's been fantastic to wear on that too. But yeah, I really it's been eating up, I will say, since Christmas, like, all of my wrist time. I just comfortable. I love a dive watch, and it's been hard to take off. But yeah, it's a recent pickup for me that I haven't really posted a ton about.
Yeah. So I owned one of these watches, not the green one. I had the blue one that I picked up. I think I acquired it like in a trade, like relatively like soon after like they released this generation of Seamaster, and I had like really mixed impressions of it. It didn't last very long in my collection, mostly because of the bracelet. Because
Mhm.
mine came on the bracelet, and like as you said, like the bracelet's just like not good. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't taper. I don't find it like aesthetically
No.
pleasing. I know that it's like it's drawing on sort of like that 90s
Yeah.
Seamaster bracelet look, which a lot of people have affection for, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. I
Yeah, me
do think
neither.
that the quick adjust mechanism on the clasp was pretty good,
Yeah.
but the fact that it like doesn't really taper at all kind of like
Yeah.
negates any of that.
They've gotta update it at some point.
I think it must be in the works. Like it's like there's a
Yeah.
very all the commentary in the bracelet is negative, you know? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there isn't anyone out there saying like, God, I love that Seamaster bracelet. It's like people are looking for alternatives. Like Strap
Yeah.
Tailor, as you mentioned, has like a, like essentially like like a cottage industry of like creating these like rubber straps, that are alternatives to the bracelet that are less expensive than the
Mhm.
OEM rubber straps, which are great. And I
Yeah.
often thought like if I bought that watch on the strap, or if I had like acquired it on the strap instead of the bracelet, like it
Yeah.
probably would have lasted longer. Like I probably just would have
Yeah.
wanted to wear
It's
it
nice wearing it
more
for
because it's
sure.
like
Yeah.
their OEM straps are very, very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have like mixed feelings overall about that watch, but I do like the green one. I think the green
Yeah.
one's good. And the green one is the only one without a date, right? Am I
No, it has a date.
right?
It
It
has
has
a
a
date.
date. There
Yeah,
is
they
one
they
without a
did
date
a,
though, isn't there?
there is. Yeah, yeah, there's a couple now. I think there's a Bond sort of
Oh, that's right.
limited release, and then there's, maybe this new black and orange one, I think, maybe doesn't have a date? I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this does have a date, which the date window is also green. It's almost unrecognizable, honestly. It doesn't really stand out, which I like.
Hmm.
But it's just a fun watch, and Loom is incredible. I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but I like a lot of Loom, and it
Hmm.
is a watch on my nightstand that will stay lit all throughout the night, as well. But yeah, really loving this one. It's getting, like I said, probably 90% of my wrist time lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just easy to
Yeah.
wear, easy to put on.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? It's like you just want to watch that
Yeah,
like is easy to reach for,
comfortable.
like
Yeah,
day to day.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
a
what
good
do you
pickup.
got?
All right. So the next watch in my collection update, I'm going sequentially here. What, like shortly after I picked up the Ming, Asher from Collective texted me and
Gosh,
he's like,
collective guys,
I
man.
know, like, listen, like this is not an ad for Collective. I just want to say, like, I've been a customer of theirs for a long time, and like they've always treated me
No,
well,
they're
and
the
it's just the
best.
happenstance that like a couple of recent pickups have been from them, but
Yeah,
so like Asher, co-founder of Collective, texts me and he's like, I've got something that I think you might be interested in, which is like the text you both dream of
yeah,
and fear, because you know that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he knows my taste at this point. So like I figure
yeah,
like he probably does have something, and he shows me a very limited edition Fears Jump Hour. We're going back to Fears again,
yeah. Back to Fears. Yeah,
in solid silver, that was made in a limited run. I found out of, I think, less than 10 pieces is what I was told were
crazy.
made of this watch. It was a friends and family run, and Collective had a customer who ordered it and wasn't able to pick it up, changed his mind for whatever reason, and so they called me. I don't know how far down the
Yeah,
phone list I was, but I'm glad to have gotten the call. So what this is
yeah,
it's sort of like a take on the watch they made for British Watchmakers Day a year ago, the Edwardian edition Jump Hour.
yeah.
That watch had like a all white lacquered dial. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
white base plate. I believe it had like a white minute ring as well. It was just very white. It was very like
Mm-hmm.
kind of minimal. Maybe it has steel minutes ring. I'll double check. This one has
Yeah.
a little bit more contrast. So it has like the same white lacquer base, but it has a black lacquer minute ring. So there's this
Yeah.
great contrast there. It makes it very like legible and I just like it looks cool. It has like a tuxedo watch kind of
Yeah.
effect, which is like, augmented by the fact that it's in silver,
Yeah.
and not steel, which gives it like a different kind of like luster to it. Matching black hour hand, and it's just gorgeous. And the
Yeah.
fact that it's rare, that it's in silver, that it's a watch I didn't even know existed,
Yeah.
before
No one knew.
that phone call just like made it like super appealing and
Yeah.
hard for me to like turn down. And
Totally.
so I picked it up. And, like we've talked about the jump hour, obviously, like you picked one up, your custom one of one piece. I've been wanting one for a
Yeah.
while. The watch I
Yeah.
mentioned that I had thought about, commissioning Fears for a one of one was a jump hour. I was thinking
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wound up with this one because I can't recall a time where I regretted not buying something more than like passing on their Edwardian edition jump hour last year. I was
Yeah.
at British Watchmakers Day. I could have bought one. I remember like I was literally at the Fears table and they were selling
Mhm.
like the second to last one. Like I was
Oh,
there when like someone was buying like, I remember Nicholas saying like only one left after this or something like that. And
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought to myself like I could do it. I could buy it. And I was doing the math in my head and I just like I couldn't rationalize it in that moment. Couldn't make it happen. But that was like, at the time, like the version of the jump hour that I thought was like the coolest one was that Edwardian
Yeah.
edition in silver. So I regretted not buying it. So having an opportunity to buy something quite similar,
Mhm.
maybe like aesthetically one that I prefer even a little bit to the Edwardian edition because I like the black accents was an
Yeah.
opportunity I couldn't pass up. Some cool things about their silver watches. Of course, it's all polished silver, which is just like really impressive and like has a very different sort of like look and feel
Yeah.
than steel. Their silver watches all have a diamond set crown, which is a fun
Ooh, that's
detail.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing. Also, that it's hallmarked, with like the silver hallmark, and Nicholas's initials are hallmarked on the back as
Okay.
well, which is something he does for the silver watches. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. I feel very fortunate to have it. I think this will be a watch that like I probably won't wear it like a ton.
Yeah.
Like you kind of like describing your jump hour as a trophy kind of like
Mhm.
made me think like, oh, that's kind of how I'm thinking of this one. Like it's not a watch I'm
Mhm.
going to pull out every day. I think it'll be a watch that I wear on like not like special occasions. There aren't many special occasions, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, but like I'll bring it to Watches and Wonders probably.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a really cool piece. Something a little off the beaten path. And like I said, I feel fortunate
Yeah.
to have it.
That's awesome. No, it's incredible, and I was glad to see that you picked it up. You sent sort of a in a private Slack message when it was offered to you. I think me and Zach were both hoping you would you would grab it. I find that these watches are they're just easy to tell the time. Like I don't I mean I've
Sure.
never owned a jump hour prior to this, and I can see the appeal of jump hour watches.
Mhm.
Just clear as day. I mean, it's not hard to tell the time in general, I'll say, but
Some people
I find
struggle
that
with
it's
it,
just
it's not,
some people do maybe. Kids don't even learn it, so maybe this is a good watch for Gen Z. I don't know. But yeah, I find that like telling the time on is super easy and simple and very quick
Mhm.
at a very like quick glance. But I just like the function. I find myself kind of looking at the time when it gets on the top of the hour to see the hour jump in it. It's just a neat feature. Something I wanted to ask you is, have you ever owned a silver watch before? Is this your first?
Yeah, so I do own one other silver watch. I own my James Lamb is silver.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
but that watch is what they call argentium silver. So it's a different alloy.
Okay.
And it has like a different sort of like the two watches. If you look at them side by side, I can post a photo, in the show notes perhaps of the two watches side by side. They have different qualities to them. The Fears is like much more. It's much more kind of like traditionally polished. Like it just has like there's like a bling, for lack of a better
Mm-hmm.
term, like factor
Yeah.
to it. It's like a little flashy is the wrong word, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
it's just a little bit more noticeable. Like the polish is a little
Yeah.
little brighter. On the Argentium case, it's polished, but it has like more of a satin quality
Okay.
to it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. They're both beautiful, but they're different. Silver's a really interesting material for a watch case just because it's like it's not conducive to to
Yeah.
an object that like you wear on your body
Mhm.
like so much because like it is so easily scratched and like
Mhm.
can be damaged and can tarnish and like you have to care for it a little
Yeah.
bit in a way that you don't have to care for a steel watch, and that's one of the reasons I probably won't wear this watch
Mhm.
so much, which again I think is fine, and I've enjoyed like the James Lamb now for like a
Yeah.
2 years, I think I've had that watch, and, like, in much the same way, just kind of, like, appreciating it occasionally and, like, really enjoying the time at times I do choose to wear it. So, yeah,
Sure.
it's, like it's an interesting material. I find it, like, incredibly beautiful, but it's, like it's so anachronistic. It's just, like, not it's not a material that, like, makes logical sense
Yeah.
for a wristwatch. It makes
Yeah.
much more sense for, like, you know, uh, something like silverware, like, for it's, like, it's a
Yeah, but,
yeah,
they do a lot of silver jewelry too,
mhm,
you know? So,
yeah.
maybe there
I
is
mean
something to the shine and the I'm at a loss for the word that I'm looking for, like, yeah, it's not the glow, but,
well, it has, like, a lustrous quality
yeah,
to
maybe
it, yeah.
luster is right term versus, like, stainless, but, yeah, I grew up with, like, my grandmother owning a lot of, sterling silver jewelry,
Mhm.
rings and necklaces, and they would tarnish, and then you have to polish them or, treat them,
Yep.
but, yeah, I've never really understood it, but again, maybe there is that luster that's different than a stainless watch, extra little
Yeah.
pop there,
It's something
for sure.
like, we've been at this for a while now, like, collecting watches, so it's like there is something just kinda satisfying about having something that's different, and, like, having
Mhm.
like, a watch made of silver is a very different experience.
Yeah,
Ultimately, I
totally.
think that's what we kinda are always sorta chasing after is, like, these, like, new
Yeah.
experiences and different things and the kinda, like and trying, like, taking different paths and that's sort of what this watch, represents, to me in some ways, so,
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Silver. 2
that
silver watches. Who'da thought?
who would've
Not
thought?
me. That's for sure.
Well, not that you have to share what you were initially thinking on the custom Fears watch, but I'll say that I still think that even if it's not the jump hour, you should at some point in your watch collecting journey work with them on a custom piece because it is really really fun. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to. I've always wanted a one of one piece, and yeah, I mean, like, I'll get there eventually. And like, listen, like I mentioned, like I think of Ming as like one of like the most interesting brands, and like Fears is like right up there,
yeah,
with them
same.
in my opinion, and they're part of the Alternative Horological Alliance, the AHA
Yeah,
group. So like they are
love that.
connected, in that way. But
Yeah,
it's another brand that's is trying interesting things, and just like the fact that
yeah,
they made this limited run, this like friends and family run of like 10 watches or whatever, and like didn't
hmm,
publicize it and tell anyone about it
yeah,
is like that's a cool thing. That's the fact that they would do something like that. I think it kind of like is intriguing to me and
yeah.
says something about the brand that they have like a certain ambition and I don't know. I like that.
They do. I think of them, yeah, in the same sort of category of brands that have really taken off over the last, like, 5 years, and I love to see where they both are now.
Hmm.
Fears was, initially just maybe not as popular, and then Ming was just sort of like a if you know, you know kind of a brand
Hmm.
within, like, the community, and now they're both yeah, they're both really, like, shining stars, and sort of independent watchmaking and now have plenty of watches that are more readily available than they used to also for both
Hmm.
brands. And yeah, it's been really cool to see. And I kind of hope that it'd be cool to see them actually do a collab together. I think would be pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I think, a possibility with their like connection in the Alternative
Yeah,
Horological Alliance, and that was part of the like the plan all along for like kind of bringing those brands together under that same
together.
banner. Is that there's like there are opportunities to collaborate, whether it's on watches or their
Movements
the
and
first
yeah.
product was a bracelet, that Jane
Yeah.
Shapiro made that could be used on on any watch from any Alternative Horological Alliance brand,
Yeah.
in theory. So yeah, I think there's possibilities there and just opportunities to like to share resources, if not like directly collaborate. It's a good thing to see like interesting brands sort of like working together, to sort of like lift everyone up. I think that's a nice thing that's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more. This will be a
Okay.
quic mention. This is
Is it
not an
another jump hour?
underdog.
Not another.
No, it's not another jump hour, and it's not
Okay.
an underdog brand.
Okay.
This is a case similar to your collective story where my dealer, my AD, reached out and said, "Hey, I have a bunch of really cool watches. You might want to come stop by." And he didn't even tell me really what he had. And I'll just mention that my AD is like 2.5 hours away from me in oh man, what is it? Indiana. I forget the name of the town now, but I drove a couple hours and I went to visit, and yeah, he had some really cool watches, particularly a lot of Rolexes, pre-owned Rolexes, and and gave me an incredible deal on a 16710, which is a Pepsi GMT from 2007.
Mm-hmm.
What was particularly special about this watch was that the owner had just really put it in the safe. It was really unworn for the most part. But the dye that they used that year with the red faded to a pink. And so even though it was unworn and really kept in a safe, it naturally
Still
faded
patinaed.
to this
Yeah.
like light pink color, which I thought was actually better and like more my preference than the bright red on the Pepsi bezel. And another interesting thing on this watch is that it's I guess called like an error dial. So the GMT Master 2, the Roman numeral 2 is actually not connected. So they're like matchsticks or whatever. I don't know like a lot about the history of that, but apparently it's sought after. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just kind of like this rare thing. And I saw a lot of other watches, but this one sort of, once I put it on the wrist, I was like, okay, I've always kind of wanted a GMT Master, and I loved that fade of the red bezel on it, and I snagged it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's another watch that has been taking up a lot of my wrist time. I just have a soft spot for like late 90s or early 2000s Rolex. It's like the 40 millimeter case. They're just so comfortable. They're not overbuilt. I feel like that's the last time Rolex was truly a tool watch in a lot of ways. You can argue with me if you want, it's fine. But I think they've just become more of a luxurious piece of jewelry, which is fine. And they're still really nice watches. I just think that it feels like truly an everyday piece. It feels like something that has a purpose. And yeah, I really like it. I loved wearing it.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of charm in those 5-digit references. Before they went to the kind of like, as you put it,
Ceramic
overbuilt
and, yeah.
like maxi case with the ceramic bezels, and so yeah, I think that it's definitely sort of like that's a really good period for Rolex. As you know, I'm not like the biggest Rolex guy, but like I do have a lot of affection for watches from that era. I've owned a few. I owned a Polar Explorer 2, and I also had a Sea Dweller. Do you still own your Sea Dweller, or is
I do.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think that like that's
now.
actually like a good pairing, I think, like that Sea Dweller and that GMT, from kind of like some similar eras, that 5-digit era. Yeah, no, that's a cool pickup. And I'm glad to hear that you're wearing it and, not keeping it in the safe like the previous owner.
Yeah, my those watches get worn. They get used and beat up, and I actually looked at my sort of watch collection a couple of days ago, just like in the watch boxes, and noticed that I have so many GMTs now. I'm like, whoa, I guess I just hadn't paid attention. And currently I'm like seeking out another GMT, which I'm not going to say just yet. But I think I always considered myself like such a dive watch person, and I have some divers, but like the GMTs and travel watches have taken over my collection for someone that, I guess I do travel quite a bit.
Because you travel quite a bit.
1 hour away doesn't really like doesn't warrant a GMT going to New York so often. But I don't know. I really like the function of a traveler's watch.
Yeah, no, I like a GMT. I mean, there's a romance to it, like the idea of like, you being able to like, change the time zone as you travel through the world. Yeah, no, there's something that's appealing about that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's another great pickup. So you had no idea what you were going to be shown as you're driving the 2.5 hours to.
He promised it was going to be good, and I have a really great relationship. Shout out Dean over at Brinkers, and I was like, I trust him. So if he's telling me there's good stuff, he knows me, and yeah, he had some really cool watches for sure.
Can you share
to
what
show
some of
me.
the other, like, what were some of the other watches that you
Oh,
were like, that maybe you
let
were
me see.
considering, or that you
Let's
passed on?
see, and I'll cut this out so there's not a huge pause because I'm just gonna look, because I think I took some photos. Oh, there was a tiger eye, gold
Oh,
president,
cool. Yeah.
which was, like, amazing from, like, maybe 60, maybe 70s, actually, now that I look at it. Um, there was an Explorer, and there was, at one point, also, a Daytona, stainless bezel Daytona.
Nice.
There was also a bluesy, like a gold, all gold sub with the blue
Mm-hmm.
dial, blue bezel. And then there was an oyster quartz too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's quite a lot
So yeah, it
at
sounds
the
like you had
time.
some like
Yeah.
good choice stuff. It's
Yeah,
nice
there's
when
some cool stuff.
it's nice when the when the dealer reaches out, when they know how to
Yeah.
like it sounds like we both experienced this like very recently. It's like there's a there are pros and cons to that.
Mhm.
Like it's nice when
Yeah.
someone knows your taste. It's hard on the wallet. It forces hard decision.
Yeah, I left that day to go up there and didn't even didn't tell my husband. Came back, with a nice chunk of change spent. But it's fine. I think I moved something else in the collection to help justify it a little bit. Yeah, not
Yeah,
when you're married, it's tough.
I was going to ask. Yeah, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. I'm accountable only to myself.
Yeah.
I was going to kind of finish up by asking, like, the part of the collection update is, making room for these new watches.
Yeah.
Have you like gotten rid of anything? I have.
I
I've
think
sold a
I
few
sold
pieces to.
something. I don't remember. I moved something at the time
Yeah.
when I picked it up. But for the Seamaster and the Fears I actually like paid for quite a while ago, and then it
Hmm.
was delivered. And the Seamaster, I don't think I moved anything for it.
Yeah. I didn't move anything specifically for the Ming, but when the Fears opportunity came up, I knew I had to. I was going to have to make some moves in order to fund that. So I did let some things go,
Yeah.
just to like make it a little more defensible.
Yeah.
I guess
Actually,
in my
I
mind.
did. Just remembered. I traded in a couple of things because I bought the Seamaster from Fears, or not from Fears, from Topper,
Mm-hmm.
and I traded in a couple of smaller things for it.
Yeah, it's all about refinement, just kind of like
Yeah,
sharpening
make
it's not about it's quality over quantity, as they say. Well, that's a pretty good collection update, I think. I think
yeah.
we've both picked up some cool watches, and now I really am done. I think I'm not I have nothing. There's nothing on my radar.
Watches
No
and
one
Wonders
call
is
me.
around the corner, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's coming
that's
up.
not. Well, come on. What am I? What am I going to get at
You
watch?
never know. You never know.
Give me a break. Yeah, no one call me. No one offer me anything.
Yeah. Phone on
I'm
silent.
100% done. I'm set.
Do
I've
not
got enough
disturb.
watches.
Yeah.
You want to move on to cultural recommendations? You have a
Yeah.
cultural rec for our listeners this week, Kat?
I do. This is a movie I just watched last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. We're at Tuesday now. And it's up for some Oscars. It's winning awards, and that is Hamnet.
Oh
And
yeah.
so good. And if you have a a preconceived notion of what the movie's going to be about, you're probably not totally wrong. Like, it's a sad movie and it looks sad in the trailer, but it's also like so hopeful, and there is I think like a joyful aspect at the end of the movie too, and it really shows a lot of love, and just really like the whole gamut of emotions, I think, during the movie. I I watched this, and it's been a really long time. I cry movies like all the time. It's very rare that I bawl. And I was bawling at the end of this movie. It's incredible. I hope it continues to sweep awards. I love Jessie Buckley. I love Paul Mescal. I love the whole cast. Um, I just found it just a really, really wonderful movie. I'm trying to convince my husband to watch it, but he's like, I don't know, Shakespeare, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's actually so much more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go right.
I have a lot of thoughts on this movie. Like, I think we should discuss them off mic probably, because I have a lot of like, it is like, it's definitely emotional. And I've heard from people in my circle who are parents who like really struggled, with this movie. I think it's probably a very tough sit if you have kids. I do not have kids. I know you do not have
neither.
kids.
Yeah,
But it's like people bring, their own lives into movies. And like, I can totally understand why this movie would destroy someone.
Yeah.
It did not destroy me for a very specific reason. And it would be a spoiler to discuss it.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk offline.
We'll talk as soon as we stop in the recording. I'd be really curious to hear your take, because I bet it's something that went through your mind as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to hear it.
Maybe not. But yeah, I like I said, I have mixed feelings. I think Jessie Buckley's fantastic. Like in the movie, like she's, I think probably I think she's the front runner for Best Actress, and she'll be deserving.
Yeah,
she's a great performance. I've enjoyed her work for a while now. She's great. This movie's directed by the director of Eternals, which is the most underrated Marvel movie of the last 10 years. Love that movie.
You think so? Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've even seen
it's really
Eternals.
Good. Everyone hates it. I'm like, this is not a bit. I like the Eternals.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I gave up on a lot of Marvel stuff after whatever the last Avengers was, and I haven't watched anything
Marvel's
past that,
fallen off a cliff. It's not good. Listen,
right.
the Eternals is
a watch.
Bright spot.
Yeah. Well, we need to do our Oscar episode soon, so maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, right around the corner. My God, I'm not prepared. I need to brush up.
Me too. All right, what is your rec? You said
my cultural rec is it's
mulling this over for it.
Yeah, so I have a list of potential cultural recommendations for the podcast, and this has been on it since the beginning, and I just haven't had a chance to talk about it. But I stumbled onto it again earlier this week. This is a YouTube channel that I like. It's a popular YouTube channel. He's got almost 500,000 subscribers. His name's John Michael Gaudier. I don't know. He's okay. He describes himself as an author and futurist, and he makes YouTube videos about science and also science fiction concepts. And he does it in this kind of montage style with a voiceover that is, I find it very soothing to watch very late at night. I'm just going to read you some of the some of the titles here of recent videos. The Three Demons of Physics. Is dark matter gravity itself? The Strange Quest for Graviton.
Cool.
My favorite, Black Hole Dyson Spheres. This is very high concept, kind of future oriented sci-fi theoretical stuff. You really have to listen to him and his voice and his presentation, because that's really the whole the crux of it. There's a lot of comments on a lot of these videos, and a lot of them say the same thing. I fall asleep to these videos every night. I can't get to sleep without John Michael Gaudier.
Yeah,
it's
I'm looking at one right now that's titled "Spooky Space Facts to Fall Asleep to," which I'm I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's just one of my favorite subgenres of YouTube video is videos about how alone we are in the universe. There's a lot of content out there with on this.
Not alone. There's aliens.
According to
aliens.
President Obama, there are aliens. That's a fact. This is a lot of people are probably familiar with this channel. It's, like I said, it's pretty popular. But I'm a fan.
I'm gonna check it out. I just
really
subscribed. I'll give it a watch.
I'll be curious. Really I also think that there's a chance that some people might hear this guy's voice and watch his videos and think this guy's insane. Get him out of my brain. But I enjoy it, and so I'll be curious to hear your reaction.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen to it.
Great,
sweet.
Well, thanks, Kat, for joining me for a collection update episode. It's always fun to kind of talk about the ways that we, destroy our finances and kind of go further down the rabbit hole in this hobby. Yeah.
Anytime.
Well, like I said, I'm done for the year, so I won't be making any new collection update podcast episodes anytime.
Famous last words.
Yep. We'll see.
So
thanks everyone for tuning in to another Warner Wild podcast. We appreciate it, and we will see you again next week.